The Alabama Law Foundation, champion of equal justice for all, and the heart of the Alabama Bar. In 2025, the Alabama Supreme Court named the Alabama Law Foundation the sole recipient of IOLTA funds. This year, the foundation will provide $3 million in grants to organizations that provide civil legal aid to the poor through access to justice programs, provide for the administrations of civil justice, including but not limited to rural communities, provide law-related educational programs to the public, including but not limited to training for guardians ad litem and court-appointed special advocates. In addition to IOLTA-funded grants, the foundation will provide foreclosure prevention assistance funding through the Bank of America settlement, and the Access to Justice Commission will grant funds to support Alabama's Free Legal Answers website and the Alabama Bankruptcy Assistance Program. The Alabama Law Foundation supports volunteer lawyer programs throughout the state that provide initiatives like the Wills for Heroes program for first responders.
Many of my cases involve pro se defendants or plaintiffs, and my advice to anyone is you have to be represented. You can't represent yourself in this type of environment. I tell them, you need a lawyer. Go talk to legal services, legal aid. And I know that's what the Alabama Law Foundation really helps in that regard.
Knowing what the Alabama Law Foundation does is so essential because we're doing a lot with this program. You know, we talk about providing access to justice. We talk about making sure that no one is alienated from the court system. And it's important that as lawyers and as judges that we're making sure that access is there. Oftentimes, as lawyers, we're busy. We get caught up in doing our thing. You know, we're not paying attention to the world around us. And it's important for us as fellows, as members of this organization, as members of the bar in general, to let folks know, hey, this is what this pro bono obligation does. Not only are you just, you know, it's not just that you're committing your time to doing this, you're representing folks who, if it weren't for you, wouldn't have access to this service at all.
I believe that everyone should have access to legal assistance. We operate to provide resources, and we can only do that with the support of the Alabama Law Foundation. That's our greatest funder. So at the Montgomery Volunteer Lawyers Program, we would not be able to do their mission to provide access to justice in the state. All the volunteer lawyer programs, there's one in Madison County, there's one in Birmingham, South Alabama Volunteer Lawyer Program, and the Alabama State Bar has a volunteer lawyer program. And then Legal Services Alabama is a statewide pro bono provider as well. And so the 6 of us have created the Alabama Pro Bono Alliance. We've all got the same mission, and that's to help as many Alabamians as possible. And I really think that we're all being a lot more effective now that we're all working together.
In my years of working with pro bono clients through our volunteer lawyer program, I will say they're the cases, honestly, after 40 years of law practice, I remember as well as the cases that were higher profile for paying clients. And I think other lawyers who work in volunteer lawyers will say the same thing, that the ones that really stand out to them were a lot of the clients we met through pro bono clinics and through extending access to justice.
On Mother's Day, May 14, 2023, Montgomery Fire Rescue answered a single-family dwelling with occupants trapped inside. Ultimately, we had 5 firefighters that got injured on that night. It brings into perspective how dangerous this job really is. A routine fire turned into something that was catastrophic for members of our department. Alabama Law Foundation is there for us when we need them, and the Wheels for Hero program benefits firefighters and first responders across the state of Alabama by providing them with a wheel in case of an emergency provided by the Alabama Law Foundation, and it helps keep their affairs in order.
The Alabama Law Foundation administers scholarships that invest and support the next generation of leaders. Justice Janie L. Shore Scholarship, Kids Chance of Alabama Scholarship, Cabanis Johnson Scholarship, William Burbon Black Scholarship, the Robe Scholarship, Reinforcing Our Bench's Excellence. The Foundation's 2024 Kids Chance Scholarship winner, Marco Maston, was named a National Kids Chance Ambassador.
Our father had got hurt on a job, and my mama had to pick up extra jobs here and there to make ends meet. She was trying to figure out ways to get more money to put us through college. So having that scholarship at that time, it's really a blessing, because I don't know if I would be able to do that without that extra help from the Alabama Law Foundation.
The work of the Alabama Law Foundation has benefited me both personally and professionally, particularly through the Justice Janie L. Shore Scholarship, which provided crucial financial support during my last year of law school, allowing me to focus on my studies and deepen my commitment to advocating for access to justice.
Judicial education is so important, and coming into this position as a judge, the more you can learn, the better you're going to be at this job, and that's what we're all trying to do. I hope that going forward, that more judges go and find out about how great the Judicial College is and are able to attend. And the Robe Scholarship will help people to do just that. I certainly would recommend that any judge who's retiring or getting close to it, use those campaign funds that you had when you don't have to run, give some of that back to the Robe Scholarship.
I can't really express how much we appreciate it as a family, and I also intend on, just to show my appreciation, once I get in my career, I plan on giving a donation year in and year out for the foundation to help people after me.
The Alabama Law Foundation established its Fellows Program in 1995 to honor bar members who have made a significant contribution to their profession and their community. Those invited in provide leadership and support for the Alabama Foundation's programs that promote access to justice.
I'm very honored to be a fellow. It's a very distinguished group of people, and to have my name included on that list means a lot to me, just to know that I'm doing my part to help.
Through the Fellows Program and through service on the board of the Law Foundation, I have learned there are many Alabamians who came before us who began these programs that we're now all honored to be a part of, who cared enough about access to justice to start these programs. It's our legacy given from bar leaders from many, many years ago, and we owe it not only to those early bar leaders, but to our communities to continue to promote the Law Foundation and the Fellows Program.
It's a tremendous distinction in the legal community. I knew a lot about the Alabama Law Foundation before I was nominated and voted in as a member, so it was a tremendous honor. But I didn't know that you were amongst the top 1% of lawyers in the state. That was very humbling. And then when you go and you see all the other folks that are fellows, and you see all these elite, distinguished lawyers who have done so much for their communities and their states, and to know that they give their time and their effort to a cause like this, it really does humble you. And it really reinforces the fact that, look, anybody can do this. And we actually have an obligation to do it as lawyers, to give back to the folks that can't protect themselves.
The Atticus Finch Society, named from Harper Lee's novel To Kill a Mockingbird, as the epitome of the type person and professional that lawyers strive to be.
The whole concept of Atticus Finch Society began in a discussion on the board of the Alabama Law Foundation as to what should we do to involve more people in the serious work of the foundation. And an endowment we could build it up, and it could provide revenue, in perpetuity.
That is a very important part of the funding, because they will have a more stable source of funding year to year, regardless of what the markets are doing.
Giving back is important. We wouldn't be where we are without the support of others who came before us. And ladies and gentlemen, it's our time. We need to give back. We need to support. Thank you.
Thank you, Alabama Law Foundation.
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 Thank you for your support to the Alabama Law Foundation, champion of equal justice for all and heart of the Alabama Bar.